Hello and welcome to another episode of Glory of Golden State Gaming. I'm your host, Swamp Swimmer, and welcome to day 3 of the Saurian Ancient LAB preview days. But on today, we get to preview the character and character mount section on this channel. This video is a snippet of our larger entire book review. If this is after the date of the book release, click the link right above my head and it'll take you to the full book review. But for these few days, enjoy this little preview. It's an awesome book. I'm excited about it. I'm a big Saurian Ancient player. There's a lot of changes, a lot of differences, a different way of playing the army. Anyway, I'm just excited to play it. Check it out and enjoy. Please like and subscribe.
No one in this world can you trust. Not men, not women, not beasts. This you can trust.
Anurok Archmage, your new and improved Quaddle. Ooh, still got 4 runes, still resilience 4. Guess what? There's no more 4+ Aegis save. There's a 5+ Fortitude. Still can't be stomped. It still channels 1. It's still Wizard Master. It's still tall standard. But
it's
the
strength 1 now.
it was
not sure that ever matters. But...
It was strength 3 before with 1 attack. Who cares? That means nothing. Interesting changes. You can no longer take what was here. I'm losing my mind. What's there? What wasn't there? Evocation, alchemy. You can no longer take pyromancy, and now you can take druidism. So druidism on an Anurok,
Mr. Toad.
Mr. Toad. Let's just call him Toad. Interesting.
A few things is I'm pretty sure he has channel 1 and Wizard Master, so he's actually channel 2. I think is how that works. Mm-hmm. Which is really cool. Yeah, and Fortitude versus the Aegis, there's ways to get him that Aegis in characters as well, so we'll get to that. But I think picking up Druidism is really big for him, because that always kind of seemed like a lore he wanted, because the list that play him is normally very blocky. So looking to Druid. I don't know. You know better than me. He was O2 in the last book, right? Now he's O1.
Yeah, he was O2. Now you can't run the double frog, which was a very very niche list, but it was done before. Closely guarded special rule. This is you can't accept or issue duels, and you can never be sent to the back because of a duel. Pretty standard. You gain Strider and Stand Behind, pretty standard. But the interesting part is he can join Tegu Warriors, which are your regular Saurian Warriors equivalent, your Tegu Guard, which were Temple Guard, and also Elder Caimans, which were this basically bigger vision, or the what Caimans used to be. We'll get there, but stick with me.
Yeah, except they're now on 50 by 50s, which is cool. One thing about him for closely guarded is it now has him as a never issue or accept, which is the tiniest change in the world. But someone who plays characters that you can't refuse their duels, the never is going to override that. So Duke or a vampire isn't going to pull the frog into a duel now. Which is it's the tiniest change in the world, but it's significant. It's a very good change.
It's a significant change, Grasp of the Immortal. Remember, this used to be in the choices you can take. Now it's just standard. You can drop all of your channel, however many channel you have. You can drop all of them and get the +1, which equals a total of +2 to casting. every turn, and you can choose each turn which one you want to do. Super interesting, super good.
Yeah, for free, this rule is just great. Having channel 2 means also that you can have, and also having adepts coming out of non-character slots means you're going to have a very packed amount of Veil tokens. So this kind of lets you fluctuate between the magic phases where you don't need to pick up channels, but you do need to chain maybe 3 or 4 spells together rather than 2 to 3.
It's just good. It's a good one.
And plus 2 to cast is just great, especially when you know 4 or more spells. Yeah.
We got a new mount option here. So we're going back to the Anararch Wardens, which, if you remember back in the day in 8th edition Warhammer, the little guys carrying the toad on their shoulders, this is them. We'll get to that mount in just a second. Doesn't make huge changes, but it's interesting. And then go ahead.
I'm sad we still don't have a steg mount.
Yeah. Can't mount him on a stag. That would be a cool, like, expensive option. I would totally do that.
No Mazdamundi still, but it is cool. And the mount is actually viable, which is always an exciting thing for a model that's pretty storied in its normal design.
And we still have the Arcane Masteries. We have a bunch of options to take with your Quaddle here. Let's talk about the first one, the most expensive. How many points can you spend? You can spend up to 100 points. So that's a little different from last time. Forbidden Mastery. This is really cool. So this is the choice you take if you want to take Pyromancy spells. You get 2 spells, which you can choose through the 1 through 4 spells of Pyromancy. But every time you successfully cast a spell, you take a Strength 5 AP 10 hit.
Yes. And the cool thing is this combos really nicely with Leadstone, I think. Any of the Leadstone shooting, because just being able to pick up Flaming Sword with either +1 or +2 to cast, and still having Druidism,
where you can heal those wounds you're taking.
Yep. Means Forbidden Mastery is not that dangerous for you. And it's only 1d9 3, and you still get your Fortitude save. So I really like Forbidden Mastery. Just having incidental access to Flaming Sword is
pretty cool.
It's just a great spell. Yeah.
I think this is a really good design. I think it's really cool. Initially, when I saw this, I was thinking of running Alchemy and then doing Forbidden Master, and then you have, for a combat list, you have double +1 to, or you have double flaming attacks.
Yeah, you have Glory Golding.
Yeah.
It also shores up the problem Alchemy has, where you can't deal with Swarm, low armor.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get to pick up two missiles.
Yeah, it's awesome. So next one, Eidetic Mastery. You just know 1 additional learn spell that must select from his chosen path. You just get 1 more spell. Pretty self-explanatory.
A little expensive, but
yeah, 55. Abjuration Master. The owner must re-roll its first failed dispelling attempt in each magic phase. In addition, if any wizard within 24 inches of the model miscasts, it is considered to have used 1 additional magic dice. I think this is fantastic. So good.
So this is what I was talking about with Plaque and Crystal Ball. Like, you just have such an impressive defensive magic phase.
Oh yeah, you get to re-roll 1 dice. You re-roll the first failed attempt. You first re-roll the first, and you get +2 to the first dispel attempt. Jesus, that's a lot.
Yeah. So it punishes them for throwing more dice at spells because of the other part of the ability.
I was looking at the other part, like, you know, that's the classic rule in 9th Age, is like, don't roll 5 dice at a spell. This makes it don't roll 4 dice at a spell. That's pretty hampering. Like,
and then yeah, you punish thaumaturgy even more. Like this one is the outstanding one for me out of the masteries. It's just so cheap for everything it does.
Yeah.
And it lets you be greedier, which is just always good for the magic phase.
Okay. Astrological Mastery. Immediately after successfully casting a learn spell, resolve its expects. A single friendly model within 18 inches of the model gains +1 advance and +2 march, and it can't be affected twice. Lasts until the end of the friendly magic phase. So this...
It's Evil Eye, except it's a little bit worse than Evil Eye.
Yeah. Immediately after a learn spell. Yeah, so this can stack as many times as you want.
No. The unit cannot be affected more than twice.
Oh, you're right. Can't be affected more than twice. Yeah,
and
so
it can't be thrown at us a negative, but it just adds Evil Eye as an attribute to other lores, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, doubling up attributes is always good.
I'm not sure it's 50 points cool, but it is cool for an army that is traditionally moved 4.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mind Shifting Mastery. The model gains Protean magic, so they get all the 1 spells from all the 4 lores. They also get access to Shamanism, so they get Awaken the Beast, and they also know the hereditary spell, so that's 6 spells.
This one being cheaper than Atheic Mastery is kind of funny to me, but I think this one's okay. A lot of units in this army have access to a lot of the 1 spells that the frog can already take, which kind of leans me off this one. But it's cheap to know 6 spells. And
Quicksilver Lash, Know Thy Enemy, Healing Waters, Spectral Blades. Yeah. There's not. I feel like there's not. I've never been a huge fan of the Protean magic. I ran it a lot a while ago, but I feel like there's not a lot of combos there. Most of the time, you're like relying on 1 spell, and you really hard to get it through if your person you're playing knows you're relying on that 1 spell that round.
Yeah, the one thing is this one combos nicely with the +2 to cast and the book.
Yeah, true.
But Protean magic always suffers from it's not a very redundant magic phase, so you do get to stop what you want.
All right, this one's
interesting. One I love.
It's so interesting. Telepathic Mastery. Once per friendly magic phase, the model may attempt to cast a single non-hereditary learn spell that was successfully cast by an enemy wizard during their preceding magic phase. If successfully cast, the model casts a corresponding attribute also. So someone drops a comment on you, it's like, oh, here's the comment right back at you.
Yeah, the crazy thing I think is actually when you start comboing it with hereditary spells too, like specifically the ones that spring to mind are the Ogre one and the Highborn one.
Oh yeah.
Because the Ogre one also combos with your attribute, so for -2 to wound, and the Highborn one is just bonkers. So Telepathic Mastery. It's weird because they need to cast a spell for it to work.
Yeah.
Successfully cast a spell.
It changes your defensive magic phase preceding your magic phase. Like most of the time you're targeting spells that you know are gonna be bad for you, so you try to stop them. But now it's, I'm gonna let this one through that I really want to cast, but might hurt me, but I can withstand it as long as I can dish it out at them. It changes the dynamic in the magic phase a little bit in your defensive magic phase.
Also, just it rewards you if one slips through.
Yeah.
Like totem slips through your net, and at least you get a totem out of the deal if you want it.
I agree. Conjuration Mastery. The model gains MR, ignores MR unless casting a focus spell.
Yeah, so this one feels really just built to combine with Forbidden Mastery. which is why it's 25 and Forbidden 75.
Yeah.
Just to help Pyro's one little magic resistance problem. This one's okay. It doesn't combo with Evocation, which is a shame.
Yeah, I think you're just gonna see this with the Forbidden Mastery build. Okay, that's the frog. Interesting. I think the frog really got to level up. I think he's even better than he was before.
Also, I think him not being able to be the general of the BSB is actually a good thing for the model, because normally in old frog games it was kill the frog, pick up 1,000 points, and then just kind of back off.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
if you could kill the frog, it was so many points. And now it's just going to be like a 650 point wizard, and that's about it. Like, it's still a big loss, but at least now it's not your wizard, your general, your BSB. Like, it's not everything.
It's not everything. It's not all eggs in one basket. Yeah. I get you. All right, let's move on to a Cayman Master. So this is your Cayman character.
It's on a 50 by 50, which is the one thing to
it's
know.
different.
So,
it's different. 50 by 50. It's about the same stat line as before.
I just realized he's solitary.
Yep, so he's solitary. This guy has to go run by himself, which is interesting. And he gets this rule called Art of War and Weapon Master, which is new for Caymans. He can choose between a great weapon, a halberd, and the tooth and claw, the new thing. But all three of them are better because he's the Art of War. Great weapon, he gets +1 to wound, so he's effective strength 8. Halberd, he gets distracting, so it's kind of a defensive build. And then tooth and claw, he gets an additional attack for every enemy model in base-to-base contact with him, to a max of 3. And this is your I need a bunch of attacks to get through models build.
The one thing to know is it has to be mundane, so you can't enchant any of those weapons. But tooth and claw giving you +2 or +3 attacks, all of a sudden you're 7/8 lightning, reflex, lethal strike attacks.
It's pretty damn good.
That's really good.
He's got a 3-up armor save. Yeah.
And he can take 100 points in items, which you're incentivized not to gear towards weapons. He feels weirdly like a Minotaur character. I mean, obviously not as good, but just the raw output of that model is really raw.
And plus he's
even just 320 points out of the box. Like, don't do anything else with him.
I agree. I don't think I'd really give him anything. There's nothing out of the magic item list that I'm like, oh, this guy needs.
Yeah, like maybe put one more pip into his armor somewhere, like Basalt Infusion, and then just let him go nuts. Sadly, he's large infantry, so no ranger's boots, which would be the ideal. But I mean, he's going to be a single model, so he's going to be easily going left and right on your battlefield. And he's movement 12, like that's not bad. Also, even just like Wizard Hat, or he's a good Binding Scroll caddy, because you're already pretty happy to put him in the list.
I agree. Let's move on to the Tegu Veteran. This is the Tegu character that is encompassing the Lord and the lower level character. They all become one. Stats, he's 5 across the board. He looks almost the exact same as the Cayman Master.
He does, yeah. One worse armor, one less wound.
And one more agility.
Yep.
And let's see, he can take 200 worth of items. His mounts, he can be in a Raptor or the good old Alpha Carno. We'll get there, folks. Not much to say here. Just another, strong. These guys will be cowboys.
Yep, he's a good cowboy. He's good on foot, and he has 5 attack space. Like, that's he's solid. And
one note is you can't do the on foot build again because he can't get heavy armor. Period.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. The Skink Veteran, my favorite. The Skink Veteran. You'll notice this about skinks across the board. Oh, we haven't talked about leadership. Let me go back really quick for a second. Our discipline. The mage is only 6. That's low. That's low. The Cayman Ancient and the Cayman Master and the Tegu Veteran are 8. So these are going to be your. Remember, these guys are pumping out an 8-inch bubble, leadership bubble, because they both have communal bond.
Yes, as long as they're meeting the rest of the requirements for communal bond.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they have to be a combined unit. So they
or
are
scoring, or in a scoring unit.
Okay, they have to be, but the Cayman Master can never join it. So Cayman Master is never going to be pumping out an 8-inch bubble.
Yep.
Interesting.
So ties back into not no gods, no masters, but it's more or less no kings, no gods.
No gods, no kings, or something like that. Yeah. Interesting. I didn't consider that. That's very interesting. So the Tegu Veteran is only going to pump out that leadership bubble when he's in a unit.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Skink Veteran, Discipline 7. He actually went up, didn't he?
I think he went up. But since there's no general anymore, him going up only matters for himself.
I think the big thing to realize here is basically almost the same stat line except for agility. His agility went from 6 to 4.
Did he gain a resilience? Was he always 3?
Oh yeah, he gained a resilience. And he's still HP 2, which is annoying. And you notice across the board, all skinks get Fortitude 6 up.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So he really wants to have that magic shield if he's going to be on foot.
Yeah.
Plus 2 wounds and a Fortitude 5 up is pretty solid.
Yeah. He can get javelins, he can get blowpipes, he can magnetic short bows, he can have halberds, he can have light. There's your the dawn whatever. That's the magic item, the offensive magic weapon. Glory of the Dawn Age. Glory of the Dawn Age skink. I love it. Paired weapons, light lance. So cool things now. You can make 2 skink veterans chameleons. So chameleon characters. Pretty interesting. Give them ambush, scouting. It's an interesting thought. And also, I love this one. On foot only, Master Strategist. It's only 1 per army. You can give a unit consisting entirely of skink warriors, skink hunters, or skink guerrillas, Vanguard, and Feigned Flight.
Yeah. Feigned Flight is a big rule to just kind of pick up. I really think if you're going to be taking skinks out of either core or the guerrilla option, that Master Strategist is a good cheap pickup.
I think it's a great pickup. 35 points, nothing crazy, but that's really going to help your chaff game.
Yeah. And he has 3 mount options.
Yeah, mount options. So Mountain Pterodon is your regular Pterodon, like the character Pterodon from the old book. Taurosaur is a Taurosaur. The Huakai Sky Tyrant we'll get to. It's interesting. I don't know if I'm going to take it, but it's interesting. But we will get there right now because that's all the characters.
Yep.
Character mounts. Okay, so this is the mount for the Anarok, the frog. If you put him on the Wardens, he becomes March 612 or move 612, which is interesting. It becomes a 50-75 base, which is interesting. He gets 5 wounds.
He picks up 3 armor.
3 armor, and it Aegis 5 up against magical attacks. So a situational Aegis save.
And he has some Wardens who are Strength 5.
4 Strength 5 attacks.
It's interesting that it increases his speed. So it's interesting that it increases his speed.
Wait, was he 612 before? Let me just check to make sure here. Hold on. He started at 612. My bad.
Oh. Yeah, I I think this is good. A good mount option. Picking up another wound is solid because for the most part, things that are going to kill him are snipe spells and things that can target him out of the unit. So the armor 3 doesn't really matter, but the 5-up Aegis First Magic is solid.
Yeah.
And the extra wound is solid. Yeah.
Interesting. The Raptor, the Saurian Raptor, this is, from what I can tell, almost the same thing. It's still got 2 strength 4 AP 2 attacks.
It's
But
only +1 armor.
It was +2 before, you're right. It was +2 before. So a little less armor, but he gets Pack Hunter, which means on a lot of occasions you're going to get reroll to wound, or reroll to charge. Interesting.
Charge, yeah.
And he's O2 in the army.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Raptor's more or less a downgrade.
Yeah.
Almost impossible to get the 1-up guy now. But I don't know. Pack Hunter's a pretty good pickup. I would say it's a wash as far as the change.
Yeah,
goes.
it's just, I think you're definitely gonna see less cowboys nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it always Agility 4?
I can't remember. I think it was.
Okay.
Mountain Pterodon. This is your character mount, so this is HP 3, Resilience 3. This is still Vanguard, still light troops, still it flies less now. It's fly 816 instead of 918. Something to note. But this is a little bit of a preview for the jungle gorilla section. The Pterodons no longer do the one use only D3 strength 4 AP 1 hits. Now they have to have a sweep attack where they do 1 hit per model, strength 4 AP 1. So you can multiple times do the sweep attack.
Also, hard target 1 is pretty.
They had hard target 1 before, yeah.
No, but I mean, like, I think this is actually the better cowboy.
Oh yeah.
Like fly 816, leader 7, 3 wounds, hard target 1, and Vanguard. Like, this model is very, again, always be where you want it to be, and it's pretty good at hunting war machines and little things in the back.
Yeah, I agree. And you give it some nice, some good magical weapon in your home free.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a 35-point weapon in this book that gives you 6 poison attacks.
Interesting. Okay, let's move on here. The Puakai Sky Tyrant. It's basically a mountain pterodon, but it causes fear and it's fearless. It's solitary, so it can't join any of their flying units. It's got Go ahead.
Quite a bit different than the pterodon because it's on a 50 by 75.
Oh, geez.
So it's actually closer to like a griffin or a hippogriff or like a wyvern or like something along those lines.
And it's got 4 strength, 5 attacks, and 4 wounds. Interesting.
And it's got predator senses, so things with the scent marker, it's going to have hatred against.
It's going to
rerolls against.
Yep, just straight rerolls, no hatred. Yeah. And then it's got this funny rule called high altitude, where basically, beginning of any turn, you could take it off the board, and it'll come in after that as an ambusher.
Yes. It's also interesting that it's fearless. This model has a lot going on. It's a lot to digest because it's straight new. But high altitude is one of those rules that I don't think you're going to use it much. And I think you can use it incorrectly more than you'll be able to use it correctly. Mm-hmm. But I think it can win you a game. Also, so this is like kind of getting lost in the reeds here, but it's at the start of the friendly turn, so you can use it as chaff if they don't charge the chaff, and then it turns out to be blocking your charge. It just pops up into the sky, and then you can declare your charge.
That's interesting. I didn't think of that.
I doubt, I don't know how much that'll ever come up, but it is, like I said before, it's another option, and the more options, the happier you are, right?
Yeah, yeah, but how often are you going to chap something and they're not going to take it? I don't know.
Yeah, but you can't chap yourself with the Sky Tyrant if you don't want to.
Yeah, interesting. And we're moving on to the Taurosaur. He's still moving 6'10". He still got 6 wounds. He's still resilient 6 and strength 6. Still got 4 attacks. He lost the devastating charge +1 attack, but he has impact hits 3d3 instead of d6 +1.
Yeah. And if you want to get spicy, you can take the item that gives you impact hits equal to your stomp.
Yeah.
So you can be 3d3 plus d6 if you want to get super spicy with it. And it can take a habit device. So we can do that build I was talking about with the Lodestone Bow and Lodestone Ballista, and just pump out strength 4, strength 5, and strength 6 shots.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, that is it for the mounts. You know what? Oh no, there's one more. How could I forget? How could I forget? I am so bad.
The King of the Jungle.
Ooh, okay, Alpha Carnosaur. He's got Frenzy. He's got Fearless. 7'10" Swift Stride. 6 wounds. He's still Strength 7. 5 attacks. Battle Focused. Multiple wounds too. Still on all that. He's Predatory Senses now, so he gets rerolled to hit prey-scented things. That's very interesting. And he's an Apex Predator, so when he gets Devastating Charge +2 inches when he charges something with Towering Presence, same as it was before. The only really big change here is the Predatory Senses.
There's actually one more big change.
What was that?
He's not O1 anymore, or O2. There's no cap on him.
Oh yeah.
Which is fascinating. I'm like, sure, it's not good.
You can't run 3. There's not enough points for 3.
A Tegu veteran on 1 is 6. Oh no, yeah, you're just over threshold.
We'll get to it. There's something later in the book that we'll talk about that changes things. But yeah, that's the characters and the character mounts section.